Rahabat Musar. This is the scroll we'll be reading. Taraq, Emotions and the Apostates. Take time to look into the cover where you see um Nadar tats, Arash tat, and the Bab tat. All right. Um, we see the different symbols, so take time to see what those symbols mean. All right. A little bit about the author, Baba Yanun. Pa Nabab Yanun, the master teacher, His Excellency Malachi Z. Kobina York Okran. Kobina means born on Tuesday, June 26, 1945 AD in Ghana, Africa. And Baba, one of the many hats that Baba wears, is transmitter. And this is the message that's being transmitted today to us. The revelations to Nuapu, Pa Taraq, the way. Ta'atafat, Wu Pa Murqatu, emotions and the apostates. One. Likum I Qaradu Pa Hakak Nuapu. For you, my children, the true Nuapians, awaken and allow me to give you knowledge on Ta'atafat, emotions. 2. This knowledge came from a Kahen divine scripture. 3. A scripture which was received by me to give unto you. 4. So that ye may have right knowledge, the right wisdom, and the right overstanding. 5. Leading you into sound right reasoning. 6. That which was given to you from on high. 7. The divine scripture wherein the first chapter, tablet 1, and 40 through 42nd verse. And it reads, this is how the events of creation and pre-creation was recorded. When life existed in and beyond the stars, the all is, was, and will be, felt within a love, a divine love that is unknown or felt by those disagreeable beings, and thus emotions were. At the first birth of emotions was the birth of motion. Things gradually began to move about, and it was then that movement and motion was conceived out of triple darkness. For light birthed the chaos. That's taken from the holy tablets. 8. Now, of all the emotional barriers, the most devastating is anger. 9. It is the greatest enemy of Hatat, peace, for it is the most negative. 10. It is a modification of lust. And when one's desires are not gratified, one becomes angry. 11. The Akal mind then becomes confused, and memory and overstanding is lost. So now we have emotions distorting the message. It's distorting the memory. It's distorting the overstanding. Things are said, 12. Things are said and done without awareness or control. So now we have emotional outbursts. All right. I also wanted to state that the person that's often screaming the loudest doesn't always mean that they care the most. All right. Sometimes it just means that they have the least amount of self-control. All right. So the Akal mind then becomes confused and memory and overstanding is lost. 12. Things are said and done without awareness or control. 13. And did you know that anger is a great danger to one's own physical and psychic katatat bodies, as well as those of the others? 14. As a matter of fact, the whole nervous system is shattered by a single fit of anger. 15. Just as heat and light can be transferred into electricity, anger can be transferred into spiritual energies. 16. All vices, unwanted qualities, and wrong actions stem from anger. 17. Occasionally, a spiritual mulmad teacher may express a little anger outwardly in order to correct a mudras student. 18. Yet, this should not be confused with an emotional outburst. All right. 19. Though he or she may appear hot and indignant on the outside. 20. The true Munbab master remains cool within. 21. For her or his motive is the growth of her or his disciples. All right, I want to stop there. All right. One thing that I kept, what I kept doing in this group was stopping people who came to Showboat. This is how much I know. This was happening, you know, maybe a few times, happened like numerous times. And it's like, is it the purpose of you being right or the purpose of you helping someone? Are you speaking from your ego? Or are you speaking from Ashuk, divine love? All right. And not getting your way, all these outbursts, this was happening. So I would just keep telling people. One thing I had said was, someone's expressing themselves and the other person comes and says, well, I know. And I'm just like, you know what? Just show them where the book is so that they can read it. Let Baba correct them. They will see it and they can correct themselves. So many people want to be the one for other people. Be the one for yourself. All right. And help others connect to the one. All right. And let them respect people's journey to get there. All right. Because it's about them. It's not about you. All right. You can be a conduit to help move energy along. But it's like once it gets there, you have to step back and let that person also do that because now you're impeding on that other person's divinity. All right. And that's one thing that I saw that happens a lot in multiple platforms. And many people express what they liked about this platform that we don't debate. There's a lot of things that we don't do here. All right. So that mission has never changed. All right. And I'm not going to change it just because I like somebody. So yeah, this is how we see it playing out in real time. So 20, the true Munbab master remains cool within. 21, for her or his act motive is the growth of her or his disciples. 22, only when anger is the outcome of selfish or petty motives is it wrong. 23, and it can be especially very difficult to control when it has been allowed to grow and become habitual. 24, anger gains strength with repetition, as frequent irritations over trifling matters is a sign of mental weakness. 25, if one watches the Akal mind carefully for signs of irritability, then control is no problem. All right, you can read the mind scroll where Baba talks about that when you can focus the mind, it can do powerful things for you. All right. But it can also be self-destructive when it's just allowed to just run wild. All right. So we have to control the mind because it's a power that can turn against us or it could work for us. So if one watches the Akal mind carefully for signs of irritability, then control is no problem. Refer to the mind scroll 26. And when anger has been controlled, all others mawuts die by themselves. All right, talking about all other harmful emotions die by themselves when you start to control your anger. 27. This can be overcome by carefully developing counterforce, the virtue of patience. 28. And checking it, one gradually, and in checking it, Hasmuni, and in checking it, one gradually strengthens the will. All right, so it's an exercise of your will. All right, what's one exercise Baba tells us to do every day? Baba says do the nerve revitalizing exercise. What does anger destroy? It destroys the nervous system. All right. So, and you need a strong nervous system to be of sound mind and emotions. All right. So you have to Practice patience and virtue. All right, this helps to build the will. You're strengthening your nervous system. 29. By learning to remain silent, even in the face of insult and abuse. 30. Always speak moderately. And if there is a possibility of a burst of anger during conversation, stop speaking and go do something else. All right. So it's like there's a lot of times this platform is open because I want us to all see our place. When you start to say something that's going to help the rest of us, please share that. And that's great. That's what I want. But sometimes people get the floor and they feel important. And it's like it's important for you to realize when you do that. All right. So always speak moderately. All right. People sometimes speak more than what they need to just to show this is what I know. And it's like, this is what I know that's going to be helpful for us. That's great. Then let that other person spark that. All right. And let them process it. All right. So that's another thing of discipline that we're going to learn. 31. Arguments are hard. So your words should be soft. All right. Being tone deaf. What's another exercise Bible tells us to do? Bible tells us to do the vocal breath every day. Bible tells us to do nerve revitalizing breath every day. Because when you say the right thing in the wrong tone, you just sabotage the message. All right. So arguments are hard. All right. So your words should be soft. So Bible's not saying to avoid arguments here. It doesn't say arguments are hard, so avoid them. No. Sometimes we have to get through that argument because we're trying to understand something. We're unwrapping an idea. But it's not an easy thing. So be mindful. I'm very gentle, all right, for a reason, because I'm respecting each and everyone's journey. It's hard for me. And also to be corrected, that's a genetic change that's happening. And sometimes the genetics can be resistant. So you want to be Bible said you got to handle his children with care. All right. You're not going to hurt Bible's children and say that you love them just because you want to be right. So you have to be mindful. All right. 32. For if the Madatat's words are hard, they create nakadat, conflicts. 33. Never argue when hungry. All right. So that's why when we're fasting, we also fast from debating. We shouldn't be debating anymore because a fact is a fact. If somebody accepts it, somebody doesn't. You don't need to convince people anymore. Share the facts and let them do what they want. All right. But in general, that's why we don't argue when we're hungry. All right. We fast from sex when we're fasting. All right, because certain times you're working on. Hunger can sometimes open up different gateways that you're working through. All right. And you want to be mindful that it can make you more liable to move a certain direction. So never argue when hungry. All right. 34. Sharub, drinking cool maya, water, or taking a brisk mashay, walk, are excellent aids in combating anger. All right. And it's like one thing I noticed with anger, we can have a beautiful relationship. And in a fit of anger, you're willing to throw this whole relationship away because I said something that you don't agree with. I'm not praising you today. I praised you yesterday, the day before that. And it's like, well, you know what? I'm out of here. This is not a conducive place to me. You're doing all that and sabotaging everything in a fit of anger. All right. And that's something I would like for us not to have happen. What's that, Zamal? I see you unmuted, Patak.
This was an accident, but I did have a problem with my family member not so long ago, and it just didn't end up right for me because they kept yelling, and I just stopped talking to them.
Now that's the smart thing to do because it said in the other chapter, in the other verse, verse 29, by learning to remain silent even in the face of insult and abuse. This helps to strengthen your will because we can't control the behavior of others, right? But we can control ourselves.
That's
And when you
right.
meet anger with anger, they're destroying themselves. No need for you to let them aggravate you. So now you both can destroy yourself. So when you're practicing that, it's a difficult thing, but if you really concentrate on it, You made yourself stronger. And this is a real life thing that we're going to have to live and apply in our everyday life if we want to get to the next level of our development. So that's very good. That's a very good thing that you do.
Can
All right.
can I say something
Yes,
real
Zamal
quick?
Liddell.
I find myself, I've been having to learn, like, because a lot of times, like, I study this type of stuff day in, day out. So when I sometimes find myself telling people stuff that they didn't ask for, and then it kind of goes left. And so I've been having to learn, like, wait for people to ask. I don't know what really is the best route to go with people who really just
That's
ignore the facts or
beautiful.
don't want to hear. Because it angers people, and it's just like, it's facts. And then if I go get them to where I found it from, they don't even want to go look. So I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Tua. And that's like if you look at the in the past, you'll notice that like the scrolls now, Bible said we're ready for it. But if you notice that our older scrolls before the hereafter, most of them are written as a question because Bible waited for the question to divulge certain information because Bible had to be very, very careful because as we're helping people, Bible calls it like brain surgery. All right. Sometimes you could make the wrong you want them to kind of get there as well. So it's like respecting that person's journey so it doesn't back and then when you prime them through their own questions that they're interested, then they can actually start sharing more. So Baba has earned that respect, you know, and that's it is a great pattern to use with each other. It is. Um
And to the brother Liddell, Jordan, I've been through that same thing in stages of my life to where I may show someone the truth, I may point them in a direction, they still become angry, you know? And it is true. When we're dealing with these teachings and all, it is like doing brain surgery on people. And because the brain and the mind is so intricate, yet is also so delicate at the same time. You know, and so once they showing any kind of resentment to like what it is that you're saying, that's why you back away. That's why we all listen to Bobby Yanun actually teach. You can hear sometimes he's really teaching and giving a lot of science and things that's happening, that's taking place in the universe, even the planet Earth, and then he'll stop and he'll crack a joke. He may crack a joke just to make a person smile, you know, just to ease it up, because he knows when like he's giving too much. And so that was always a good example. And so, yeah, it's always got to be so delicate, like with the person. Sometimes the persons, some people are really actually really messed up, but some actually are okay with where they are at mentally too.
so I would have for that. So yeah, it's also that compassion because some people they're very, very brutal in how they teach too. And then you turn people off. And we have to learn to be emotionally intelligent. And there's a certain compassion that lets that person because the brain and the heart, and sometimes you have to let that person get in touch with their heart seat. All right. And that's why in this group, um, I'm not so much for us memorizing the scrolls, you know, because you can memorize the scrolls and then you just walk around like a know-it-all jerk and no one really likes you, you know. So it's more about connecting to that heart seat so you can pull on what's needed when it's needed appropriately. Because even the right thing at the wrong time is still wrong. You know, that's another thing. So we learn the sacred dance of wisdom. All right. Um, so 35, as in maintaining silence for, hold on, let's go back. So never argue when hungry. 34, sharab, drinking cool maya water and a brisk mache walk are excellent aids in combating anger. All right. So step away if you need to, and don't harass somebody who wants to step away. Like, listen, I need a moment. No, we need to talk about this now. That's abusive too. All right. It's like I need to digest. This is a lot for me. We could revisit this later. All right. 35. As in maintaining silence for a long waqt time. All right. So if you find that you're a very argumentative person, Practicing being quiet is very, very beneficial. All right. 36. Smoking, eating bad foods, and heavy alcohol drinking are irritants. 37. It irritates and aggravates the problem. 38. Therefore, best avoided. All right. So Bible says we got to clean ourselves inside out and outside in. All right. You're not going to be the best person that you could be if you're consuming things physically, because you say, well, it's not about the physical. It's all about what I'm thinking spiritually. You're not going to be at your highest potential, all right, as far as character, if your body is compromised, all right. So it's all together, all right. So it's best to avoid things that irritate, all right, your body, because it's going to irritate your hormones, and the hormones are your signal centers, and that also affects your emotions, all right. So 39. Also, you may have noticed your Saud family can bring out the worst in you. Family can bring out the worst in you. Why? Right? 40. Loved ones know just how to get inside and upset you. 41. Well, if you expect too much of others, you deserve the pain of a letdown. 42. Do what you know you can do and don't try to be the show off. It can only bring problems. This is a big thing that I'm seeing. Because one thing is that's very beautiful about these scrolls. Baba gave us a warning. He said, okay, you guys are, you guys are ego tripping, swinging your sword around. These are, what Baba has said. So when you finish ego tripping, it's like little kids that finally got, when you finish ego tripping, we can get some real work done. So just burn out your ego right now. And we went through that, but now we don't have much time. All right. So that's one thing that I'm seeing, that a lot of people, it's very empowering. This information, when you start to realize, you can start getting the confirmations and the activations, and you realize how divine you can be or how divine you are, it can start making you be a show off, like, you know what I could do? Look what I could do. I know how to do this. Look what I could do. It's all about me. Look at me. And it's like, that's going to cause problems, because there's many people who may be doing things. All right. So just hope, hope, share things. All right. As necessary, not more than what's necessary. All right. So 42, do what you know you can and don't try to be the show off. It can only bring you problems. 43, if you go into crowded areas, you are bound to find trouble. All right. One of Baba's quotes is, people, politics are anywhere people are. All right. So just because we get some divine scrolls, all right, we get some divine scrolls and we're reading books and we're in a spiritual journey, it doesn't take away people politics. People are going to be people everywhere. All right. So don't get so spooky that you forget that we're all people. All right. So we have to always be mindful that you're dealing with the nature of people. All right. So there's a spiritual and a physical. You have to respect all the dimensions in which you exist. And there is people politics. All right. That's why you keep yourself you keep yourself mindful. That's why I do that exercise that I did earlier with the stretching in all directions, because it reminds me of all the presentations. All right. Of all. So if you go into crowded areas, you are bound to find trouble. 44. It is up to you to control your tafats, emotions, and better to check your emotions either before they take form or when it is a small ripple in the subconscious mind. All right. So when it's not for you to control people, because you're in the crowd. Somebody's going to say something that you didn't like. Somebody's going to move a certain way, send an energy, and sends a little ripple. That's not your problem to control them. It's up to you to control your emotions. Like Baba said, when you navigate in the sea, you change the sails. When you change your own sails. All right. 45. I have warned you many times over. Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. 46. For left unattended, It is the very example of those of you who have lost your way on this great journey, from then to now to then to now to then. You're too much in the future, too much in the past. You lose touch of the here and now. All right. Through what? The emotions. The emotions. You go off on the deep end. All right. And now it's about you. It's such an easy trap, you don't even see it. That's why, like I warn against, and Baba warns against in many scrolls, that being misled is not always from a malicious place. It can come from a very caring, sensationalized place. All right. And now you're seeing how it's happening. 47. Those of you who fell back asleep as you walk around under our Raye sun each Zaman, day, and Nawun, sleep under our moon each night. 48. You Murgatu, apostates, with your conjectures and fabrications of your own opinions concerning our way of life. 2. Hayuk, create spellbinding Za'am, religious opinions of hope, wishes, akadat, faiths, beliefs that never come to help you. All right, so Baba is warning you. As you're reading these scrolls, sometimes you'll have your opinions of the scrolls. Now you start to create a spout. You took a fact and you've created your own religion around a fact based on your opinion. Because Baba uses the word religion and opinion interchangeably. All right. That's why Baba says keep your opinions to yourself. We all have them. We all have our religious hang-ups, so to speak. All right. And religion, you can break down to religion or to reconnect. All right. To reconnect. Everybody has their own connection. That's why we point people towards the scroll so their genetics can go and take it. But be careful of going off the deep end. All right. So let's read that again. You Murgatu, apostates, with your conjectures and fabrications of your own opinions concerning our way of life. 2. Hawa, create spellbinding Za'am, religious opinion of hopes, wishes, akadats, faiths, beliefs that never come to help you. 49. And many true Nuwapians of the ancient Egyptian order can testify that I, Panabab Yanun, Pamunzal Nathar Amunabab Raye Akak Patah, Jadatwi, have appeared to them in the Jasad flesh in manifestations demonstrating Talu Makwanu, 3 beings in one. To some, it is the phenomenal manifestations as well as the fantastic one, with the power of transfiguration for all who touch me. 50. Furthermore, they, the true Nuwapians, Nuwapu, have accepted me as an Nazala incarnated Nataru as Atumreye, and beheld you all as in need of the right knowledge, right wisdom, and restoration of sound right reason. So those of us who are true Munwapu or Nuwapians, that we have accepted that Baba has incarnated as our Nathar Atumre for what? For the purpose of restoring the wisdom, knowledge, the sound right reason. All right. So there's a lot of things that we're still sorting. All right. I can give you some information because some things I've sorted already. All right. I'm still sorting things. So it'd be foolish for you to, just a few months ago, someone doesn't know how to breathe properly. They don't know how to even breathe properly. There's certain deficiencies. Baba said, I remember Baba saying that if you know more than him, he'll sit down. All right. We know differently at times. I know a little bit about this. That brother, he's very knowledgeable about that. This brother's already tuned into this. But there's so many layers that we're still sorting. So Baba has come to set the whole record straight. And some people fly off on the deep end, running off with the little piece that they hold. All right. Baba talks about that in which scroll? He talks about that in the diamond scroll. All right. So 51. Acknowledging Pa Mujdad, Mujdad, the reformer, the renewer, Pa Made, the gentle guide who stands in Mukbad, one who is center. All right. So they are for the true Nuwapu. They're acknowledging Baba Yanun as the incarnator who's helping to restore them in their mind, sound, right, reason, all the things that you've been confused about, things you didn't know. We're putting back and restoring our story. All right. We acknowledge Baba as our reformer. All right. Because each time you're applying a fact, slowly but surely you're transforming into a better version of you. You're renewing your story. All right. You're getting those lost records that weren't really lost, but they were buried. All right. It's time to take our place. As one thing ends, we're renewing. All right. Our gentle guide. All right. And that's the key word, gentle. All right. Who is center, one who is center. Mukbat. All right. So Baba stands in our mukbat, in our center. All right. Just Baba, no one else. You are your center, but Baba has the only one who qualified to stand there with you in your center. All right. I'm working on something. That brother over there is working on something as well. You guys can cooperate and work together around a central idea. But you don't work around him. He don't work around you. You guys work together. All right. Baba said, walk with me. When he said walk with me, he said walk with, talking about Baba. Baba said, he said walk with me. And you guys work together. All right. So many times people come amongst us and they want to be the most supreme one from amongst you. Baba's still here. Tap into that supremeness within inside yourself. When you see your sister is doing something you may not be as good at, great. You guys cooperate. All right. And you guys take your part and position. You don't have to rule over other people. That's your Anunnaki gene. Those are the reptilian genes that has infiltrated our genetics, that you want to go and conquer others. All right. And then your ego tells you that you're helping them. Really, you're conquering them, because Baba's taking you back to where your center. All right. So you can unlock that divinity within yourself. Baba has done it already. All right. And he's taking you to guide you and slowly and gently, all right, unwrap your mind, all right, and reconfigure it. So now you can make that connection too. And we're all connected now. So we all become the messiahs, because the race becomes the saviors of the planet. All right. So if you guys are still looking for one savior amongst you, it's about unlocking the healing for the genetics. And when you unlock the healing for the genetics of that race becomes a savior of the whole planet. All right. So you start by cleaning your own room. Clean your own room. All right. Then you clean your room. You start to expand outward, the all expanding breath, or the all expanding. That healing starts to expand outward to another room. Then next thing you know, your whole compartment is compelled. Now the whole building, all right. Now the whole block. Now the whole community. All right. So the common unity, the community. All right. So you become the messiahs as the race of people together as one. All right. Not to be the one. And so many of us want to say, it's me. I'm the one who's doing this. That's not unique. That's been a trap that caught so many of us. And I don't want to see any of us trap ourselves or each other. All right. 52. So with this, the true Nuwapians does not misline themselves, neither do they blaspheme, nor do they add, change, or tamper with what is given by Matatats, words. All right. They don't tamper with what the words say because of their opinion or how they got to that conclusion. And they're like, I got to warn you. At the end of the day, just read the scroll. That's why I read the scrolls to us. All right. I also have letters from Baba. All right. Somebody asked, like, for example, I cannot find anywhere where Bible says that Sabaean is a bad. I'm going to use that as an example. I have letters of Bible talking about Sabaean. When just Johnny Sabbath called Asar, he was locked up with Bible. He just got released. Somebody asked, what were you being taught? Were you being taught? What language was Bible teaching you? Johnny Sabbath said I was being taught Sabaic. All right. So then it's like, well, if Bible says everybody go in that burning building, then you just know not to go in that burning building. Now you're changing the words. If you came to that conclusion and something compels you not to, you have a dream, that's for you. All right. Keep your opinions to yourself because they are where they need to be. And you have to let their divinity open to them so that their genetics can place them properly where they belong on this circle of nature. Some of us are being taken to the deep seas. We know more about the stars than we know about our own oceans. Some of us are being taken to the deep sea. Some of us are taken to other planets. Some of us are taken. You have to not impose your nature. You cooperate in nature. I'm not a man. I'm a woman. All right. So I'm not going to try to transform him into, I'm going to let him play his role. And so many times we're trying to rewrite and we don't realize that we become a saboteur of where everything is supposed to be. Let people play their place. If you see that you shouldn't do something, then don't do it. All right. But don't go and start blaspheming and changing. After you even confirm, then you do some mental gymnastic. I keep seeing that because you think you're just so smart. I'm so in tune. And it's like you'll hurt yourself. All right. You are smart, but you have your peace. All right. I didn't say I figured this all out. I wouldn't pretend that I did. I didn't write these scrolls. I'm still learning every day. So 52. With this, the true Nuwapians does not malign themselves, neither do they blaspheme, nor do they add, change, or tamper with what is given by Madatat's words. 53. Because Amun Nabab is the Father and the Son and the Soul as Unupu and Asanupu and Nabanupu, a triune in one Makwan being. 54. There are many false accusations, slander, and kadabats, lies to mislead the weak who seek faults. All right. So there are those who just look to find what's wrong. You're missing sometimes that's how you miss the message. You go in and saying, I'm going to dispel, and you slash my sword and swing it. All right. Without even getting the whole story. All right. So there are many false accusations, slander, and kadabats, lies to mislead the weak who seek faults. 55. Mere gossip by the lost Ba'ahu, souls from among your own Natatu, seeds, your own creatures who have gone astray. Tragically enough. 56. They have been spellbound by 6 ether ghost forces that blinded their Al-Babats, hearts, and put a seal over the Ayantwi, eyes, resulting in their total ignorance concerning what is to befall this Kawak planet that happened some 10,000 years ago and must happen again very soon. All right. We are very, very special beings in this place and time. So many cycles are renewing at the same time, so many alignments. We have our 24,000, we have our 25,000, we have our 10,000, we have our 6,000. So it's like so many alignments. So let's read that again. They have been spellbound by 6 ether ghost forces that blinded their Al-Babats, hearts, and put a seal over their Ayantwi, eyes, resulting in their total ignorance concerning what is to befall this Kawak planets, as happened some 10,000 years ago and must happen again very soon. 57. Some have taken what they were fed and changed it for their own profits and spell-binded others. All right, this is not new. Keeps happening time and time again. 58. What a blasphemous addition. They may try to sound like me, Panabab Yanun, yet they are not. 59. I have never given or granted permission or authority for any of them to use Wunuwap for their own gain. 60. They have betrayed many, for they have become the greatest Mukshasu, deceivers in a state of contradictory, saying they are only following Pa Nabab Yanun. All right. So they're going to contradict his word and say they following him. All right. Delusions. 61. When in fact they only follow their own greed for wealth and power, misleading many from their own tankash, salvation. 62. Far be it, Hasmuni, far be it for true Nuwapu Nuwapians to be deceived by the lying children, Pa Mudwawu, the evil ones, and those who serve them. All right, so now Bob is going as far as to say that you're being deceived by the evil ones. That's an evil act. All right. Now I might have certain opinions. We might address it, but I can't confirm that. All right. And what I confirmed, Baba had wrote me. He wrote Sabian. It's in the scroll, Sabian. The brother came out, he said Sabian. All right. Let their genetics go where it needs to go. All right. Don't run ahead of Baba. All right. With your little piece, because you're going to either really hurt yourself, you're going to have to come back. All right. 63. I, Pa Nabab Yanun, am of Anun Reye, Atum Reye, Atun Reye, and Amun Reye, far above their wildest imaginations. So there he goes, saying, don't run in front of me, because guess what? He's far above their wildest imaginations. All right. So where their mind is taking it, there's limits. He goes far beyond that, in all directions, north, south, east, west, or the hidden, rising, setting, and etheric sun. All right. So from our noon ray, all right, you can't catch Baba. Baba said you can't trap him. All right. But your opinions can trap you. All right. 64. In reality, what they have enunciated is not the byproduct of their own imagination, yet by the powerful influence of their jawidness, wickedness. All right. So it's not even by their imagination. It's by their wickedness. What is the wickedness? The need to be important. I'm special. I'm better. I'm the one. All right. You're moving away from Pa'ut. All right. I've heard people quote Baba. I'm a dream walker. If I walk into your dreams, this is what Baba said. I'm a dream walker. If I walk into your dreams, it's really me. No one can take my image. I would never say that. Because if you dream about me and I said I'm a dream walker and you have a bad dream about me and I did something and that's your own self-conscious. And I said that, that's a powerful statement to make. That I'm not going to put myself in a place I could fall trying to be, I'm so special. Just play your part. All right. Or to say, I'm quoting and using Baba's quotes. All right. I'm going to point you to where I got it from. All right. 65. And surely the lies of these Munfalu, fallen ones, are conspired by those who do not follow true to our teachings as they come to you. Consequently, Panataru condemns them as imposters. All right. So they bring you this and they say, I'm a Nuwapian, but I'm going to twist it this way and stick close to me. Follow me. All right. They're not respecting your mind for you to see it for yourself. I give you the facts and then you navigate that. All right. And go where you feel you need to go. I brought you to my teacher already. All right. So and surely the lies of these men follow the fallen ones are conspired by those who do not follow true to our teachings as they come to you. Consequently, Panataru condemns them as impostors. 66. Their path has utterly become a lost path, and those who follow them are lost souls in this earthly life and will be left behind on that Zaman day. 67. I'm not taking responsibility. I'm not putting that on that's why I'm so humble in this group. All right. Because I made a concerted, and I'm not saying I never did any of these things, because a lot of times you don't realize you're doing things. All right. You think that you know. And I've checked myself. All right. Because I'm not taking responsibility for someone's soul. I'm not doing that. All right. For misleading someone's soul, should I say. Because there's been many times I got more information. I'm like, oh, it was really this. I have more information. And as I'm tuning myself up, we're always getting constant more information. And I've taken that little piece, ran off with it, and I've misled a lot of people. And it can be done in good intentions. So I made a realization to let people make their connection. All right. And when they make that connection and they have that integrity, because your integrity is what protects you. In your integrity, even if you make the wrong decision, there is protections in your integrity. So if you follow this the best way that you could get it, and this was slightly off, your integrity is what protected you, because guess what? The correction is going to come anyway. All right. When you're doing your best and you're having integrity, it's not always about being right or wrong. It's having that integrity, because the whole point is to reform, and reformation is a process. All right. And and respect that you're going through that process. So you don't want to be responsible for what you do to others as you're learning as well. All right. You know a little bit more. You knew that first, but that person that you taught might actually be more even. You got the thought first. You got to spark first. You spark them. You might be amazed what they do. And I don't underestimate, all right, what many of us can do. I don't underestimate just because you just learned about this platform. I hope to inspire and spark what you're meant to do. All right, because we're all meant to do something. All right. So their path, 66, their path has utterly become a lost path, and those who follow them are lost souls in this earthly life, and they will be left behind on that Zaman day. 67. The names on this list kept by Dahutwi or Tahuti are read for those worthy to make the journey out of here, and because they have denied me, for others resulting in the rejection of their good works assuredly, they will not be granted a seat with the transformed ones. That's our goal. Our goal is to heal and to allow healing. All right. So if you always want to be right, guess what? You're not transforming, because this is a whole thing of getting right. All right. You had some pieces and it's like, oh, that was okay. Let me adjust this. I got more information. Now I could make them. And so, if you really think you're tuned in, you don't need to read. You don't need to better yourself. All right. You're not transforming. 68. As for those who do the right things by what I, Panabab Yanun, brought to them from beyond the stars, Wunawap, and only publicize it as it was given, word for word, symbol by symbol, and school by school, change by change, until you come to AEO and the true quality and unity, united in four essentially. We had we'll read the quality scroll. All right. So you had to go through the schools. I tried to warn people, according to what I read in the breath book, that Baba teaches us how to use our rhythmic breath so that we could make etheric journeys. As Baba says, that you can go into certain realms where you become almost like You don't even feel your body anymore. All right. And there's exercises for it, but he also gives a warning. And he says, be mindful when you're doing these exercises that you don't become resentful of your physical journey, because your body has been given to you for a reason and a purpose. And if you try to escape that school of the physical because you want to be so spiritual, you're neglecting the physical work you're supposed to do. So when you hear that warning, all right, we can read this again. 68. And for those who do the right things by what I, Panababi Anun, brought to them from beyond the stars, Wunawap, and only publicize it as it was given, word by word, symbol by symbol, school by school, change by change, until you come to AEO, the true quality in unity, united in thought, essentially. All right. United in four. Now I'm already seeing, now you're getting to all the movements of Anun Ray, Atun Ray, Atun Ray, Amun Ray, the all expanding. You're skipping the school of the flesh. All right. You're here for a reason in the flesh, but you want to run ahead and say, no, I'm more spiritual. I don't need to. You're trapping yourself. All right. This is a warning. All right. Because you want to run ahead of the class. 69. So without separation or addition, they in fact do speak the facts concerning Anun, Atum, Atun, and Amun, yet the imposters lie. All right. A lot of the times, how does lies start? We start by lying to ourselves. All right. And the warning that I'm giving is that it doesn't, most of the time, this is not coming or starting from a malicious place. It just starts from an ego place. All right. 70. To you who are of our creatures who have not gone astray, you shall receive new Tanakh, everlasting life, a new form, a true peace, joy, fulfillment for you trusting me. Trust Baba. All right. Baba says, go, just trust Baba. All right. Somebody's warning you against what Baba said, and they can't show you what Baba's saying otherwise. It's because of what they feel, what they saw. Trust Baba. All right. Because there's a nature that has to play out. There's a process, and before the process, you're gonna have an incomplete structure. All right. So to you who are our true creatures who have not gone astray, you shall receive new Tanakh, everlasting life, a new form, a true peace, joy, fulfillment for you trusting me, Panabab Yanun, and for your laborers in freeing me from the cages of Pa Mudwawu, the evil ones, for the triune being has the force inborn for your Tankhas, salvation, your redeemer. All right. So he's speaking to many. Baba said, you know, one thing Baba said, he's still in there. He said this 2009, 2010, 2011, around that time. Many times he kept saying it. I don't hear him saying, because like, okay, we need to marinate on what he said. He said that, you know, why he's still in there, because the ones who love me think they love me more. They think that they love. Are there people who don't want Baba in there? Yes. There are people that don't want him, that don't want him out. There's people who don't want him out. There's people who's been sabotaging, and you know, there's adverse forces. But there's also adverse forces in the people who claim to want him out, because he said the main contender is that each person wants to say it was me, and I love him more. All right. And whoever has the update where Bob is saying that, and it keeps repeating, feel free to share it. All right. And I now, like at one time I did feel like that, because the isolation make you feel like, you see all these bad things happen around you. You think that you're the only one doing something. But a lot of people who cared were actually isolated. It's about people who care coming together and respecting each other and playing their part. And then I realized that I don't love him more. I love him in my way. That person has their connection and you respect, because you can't disrespect Baba's loved ones and say you respect him. So we've been doing that a lot and say it's going to be me and Baba standing side by side looking down on everybody else. And it's like you're delusional. I could say in a much loving way, all right, for having to walk through that school myself. You're delusional, all right? So this is a warning from your sister and from your Redeemer, Baba Yanu. So 71, did I not appear to you all as one of you? Did I not serve you with my life? 72, sadly, the tragedy enough, Pa Kasasu, the Caucasoids, have imprisoned me, Pa Nabab Yanun, to prevent the transformation of the elected. All right? There's people that Baba came like, okay, my first letter to Baba. I'm going to give us an example. Don't underestimate people. Just because you grew up in a tribe, somebody grew up here, wherever, there's certain beings that was, certain genetics, they're here on this planet, spread out through all over. That Baba is, he knows who they are and they need to be activated. All right? So why are you thinking that sometimes you're the energy that's bringing that activation to that person to touch their mind, so now they're activated. All right? And they have imprisoned Baba to prevent this transformation of him touching who he needs to touch. So when Baba, he has said to me that he already knew me. And I'm like, he said he already knows me. So don't underestimate that Baba knows the energy of who he's looking for. All right. And when we stand in the way of that, all right, I just wanted to throw that out there, how it keeps happening. So I don't underestimate somebody who just came and they're like, oh, what are you guys doing? Never heard of Baba Yanun. I'm not going to automatically think I'm more superior just because I read the scroll first. I don't know. Baba knows who his and and we're still out there. So now you know what the purpose of him being in prison, so he could prevent the transformation of the elect. And the elect didn't necessarily know that they know him. All right. There's people that's the elect that still don't know who he is. That's why he said get his information out, clear his name. All right. Because there's wherever it is. All right. So we need to stop being so spooky and thinking that we're more special because we was in this temple first. We read this book first. We met him first. He doesn't care about all that. All right. It's about an activation that needs to take place. So let's read that again. 72. Sadly and tragically enough, Pa Kasu, the Caucasoids, have imprisoned me, Pa Nabab Yanun, to prevent the transformation of the elect. 73. It started when the Jawedna's wickedness crept in, deafening some ears, blinding some Ayanat's eyes, and hardening some Ababat's hearts. All right? How you going to disrespect your brothers and sisters and think you're going to get your Baba home? You know? So it's that blinding. You can't even hear what I'm saying because you're busy talking over me. Can't even feel what I'm feeling or take into consideration. All right? So 74. Then he, Apophis, inspired some to lie, and rebellion took place. 75. The affected Baal souls definitely followed in the perfected way of Wunuwap, yet became hopelessly lost. 76. And as for whoever declares loyalty to Apophis and his seed, that's Pa Mudwabu, the evil ones, and as their Redeemer, as their Savior, as their Messiah, Prophet, or God, rather than the true Natharu, Kamanu, Agdoids, Sabatu, Eneids, Sabatu. Here we go again. Sabatu Enians, who are of ourselves, has for certain compromised their destiny and will be left behind on Pafav Zaman, that day of the departure amongst the losers. All right. So Baba said, you're trading the true Messiah for false messiahs who just take you to a compromised destiny. All right. It's your decision time, and you're making decisions based on deviating, all right, from the guidance. That's very dangerous. All right. Following behind somebody who says, I know. All right. 77. The example of those who rebelled and rejected Wunuwap as revealed to you by myself. Notice he said, as revealed to you. All right. Baba has said in an update that people want to accept Wunuwap as they want it, not as it's revealed. So Baba said that everyone, like not one person lives it to a T, because if we did, everything would be set in order. We compromise it because that's the genetics. We want to do what's comfortable, because we get addicted to being what's comfortable. So the parts that confirm where we want to be, we take that. The parts that we don't like, it's like, oh, what you mean I can't smoke? I'm gonna just ignore that, and I make excuses why we could do this or why we change that. All right. So it's considered rebellion when you reject Wunuwap as it's revealed. All right. So the example of those who rebelled and rejected Wunuwap as revealed to you by myself, Panabab Yanun, from 1963 on to 2003, on to September 9th, 2009, the transformation and journey home. All right. Transformation is a process. We have to keep saying that. It's a process. And you want to skip ahead, you're going to be a deficient being if you don't get what you need at the time you needed it. All right. And it's been a process because we're upgrading. Because if you change too extremely, sometimes that's damaging. You have to change. And we've been making that change. All right. Correction by correction, step by step. All right. 78. Their actions and deeds are more or less like the ashes which are blown away by a strong wind. 79. They can never receive any reward for their labors, for their efforts is only vanity of vanities. All right. Called busy work, busybody work. All right. So you do all that, and you're hollering the loudest, doing the most work, and you're doing it in the wrong, rebellious way. All right. It'll be like, you won't receive the rewards for all that labor. It was because it's a vain labor. All right. Baba called it the look at me syndrome. So whoever has that update as well, they can share that. Because a lot of us are coming into a story that's been told time and time again. All right. So you want to look at the patterns. Baba calls it the look at me syndrome. And he said many of us have it. And it's a sickness. 80. Those who continue to reject Wunuwap and Pa Nabab Yanun, then accuse you with false accusations, are incorrigible imposters. 81. They conjecture Wunuwap is not real and will cost them greatly as the hour is near. All right. So the great thing about nature and Ashuk, divine love, it allows you to make corrections. I'm not above reproach, and I appreciate being corrected, so that I can actually put myself in order. So the great thing is that they conjecture Wunuwap is not real, and it will cost them greatly as the hour is near. The hour is near, so he's saying stop doing that. Stop conjecturing as the hour is near, so you can get the corrections in time, because we need to make those 24 upgrades in time. All right. 82. All wait on the three tones in one, which is with me, Panabab Yanun. Furthermore, some have come amongst you to divide you into groups when you should be one. That's why this group was created again. They got the answers over there. I got the answers over here. How we all reading the same scrolls and we causing factions? Why we causing factions is based on people's opinions. All right. Now, it's different than like, okay, I like this tone. This is helpful to me. And they all work together. So notice for myself, for example, somebody asked where the study groups, there's no monopoly to study Wusabat. This is a comfortable platform to study in this type of way for some people. If you feel comfortable studying over there, that's great. We're all studying and there's no competition. There's no divide. All right. There shouldn't be any. All right. But if there is, it's because some type of deviation, all right, away from the facts is happening. So furthermore, some have come amongst you to divide you into groups when you should be one. 84. The end result is polytheism, spookism, ghostism, expressed in an elaborate scheme scheme. All right. So now we just took a beautiful fact and we've sensationalized it. And it's like when we were talking about certain journeys, and you have to let the facts unfold to how people are. Confirmation in one of the 9 reasons to be a Nuwapian and not them. One of the reasons is the confirmations. And in that particular verse, it says that until you confirm something, it's considered a fiction to you. All right. You have to take the time to confirm, and no one else can make that confirmation for you. All right. But now when you're going off the deep end and it's like that brother or sister sounds deep, so you're going to follow them. You've just taken a divine fact and you've turned it into another form of spookism. And now you're going to be going in fear and you're going to get on the wrong craft and become someone's food. All right. And that's where it goes. So you don't want to turn into spookism just because you could call a spaceship towards you. It don't mean you called the right spaceship towards you, because there's so many different beings that came here for different reasons. And so many beings in our bloodline, some for us and some not for us. And I could be extraterrestrial. And all my extraterrestrial ancestors don't mean that they're all good. And some of them might be coming back here to pick up their food. Some are coming to pick up their children. So this is an example of why you don't want to go off on the deep end of spookism. Let people make those confirmations and unfolding. All right. Rather than running the most sensationalized person, So 84, the end result is polytheism, spookism, ghostism, expressed in an elaborate scheme. 85. Who could possibly be more of a lost soul than those who have spun such kadab lies, then make themselves a companion to me, using my Renan name, my works, even my image, to deceive many into thinking they walk with me as Nuwapians, falsely stating that they continue to walk with Nuwapu, Nuwapians, and also accuse the true devoted Nuwapians of being untrue or liars, when it is they who are not true and who are liars. All right. So I keep bringing up the whole Sabian thing because that's the most recent thing. It's not the only thing, and it's not solely the reason why we're reading it, but this is an important reason why we're coming back, where we had to keep visiting this in so many ways. When Baba had wrote, I was going by like Nuwapu, and then I started seeing, all of a sudden we're going by Sabian. All right. the way that I felt was like, oh, maybe we weren't living. This is just my journey that I went through in my head. Maybe we're not living Nuapu as we're supposed to, and we lost the right to call ourselves that. I don't know. But whatever the case is, Baba said we were Sabians. All right. I don't know what Sabian is. I started to look it up. And, looking at the rules, Saba, it's meaning star, Sabat, you have the Sirius stars, star seeds. All right. And I started to see one who is of the stars. That's all the ways that you can break it down. So with that being stated, it made me go and revisit, because it's like it's something new. I'm going to have my opinion about it, but it's just an opinion until I get the facts covered. So I go and investigate, because that's the job of that's our science, to know, to confirm, to go back. I went back and read all my old letters. I see Baba talking about Sabianism, but for some reason I was blinded to that at the time. I went into the Holy Tablets. I saw Sabian mentioned there. I was like, oh man, it's been mentioned so many times. I read another scroll from Empress Radice, who she is the Washita. She established the Washita Nation in 1992. And then she mentioned it because she was getting the records. She was born in 1926, I believe, and she died in 2000, not too long ago. She died recently. And I realized that I've been blind, and Baba makes us to respect, to look again what you've looked over. Take a second look. All right. So then we go around based on what I like. Imagine if I didn't take that second look. And then I was like, based on what I feel, I'm going to just, and I'm happy I didn't do that, because I went back and I'm like, I can't find where Baba says anything, other than, what it is. And Nuapu, Baba said that he has not revealed the true meaning of Nuapu because it's protected. All right. But you can find records of Sabianism. So I'm like, okay, everything is playing because it's a gentle journey. Baba said he's a gentle teacher. All right. And he's upgrading us. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't know, I'm showing you I'm showing you my process. So I'm sharing my opinion journey. So I said, you know what? If we're struggling to ride the bike and Baba ends up putting training wheels on the bike, I'm going to take the training wheels if it takes me, if I need to build up. And then I started to link that it's one and the same. You get what I'm saying? So let the process go. Let the process go. And, be mindful that you don't go and saying that you're following what Baba came to teach. Then you end up being one of the slanderers going against it, because it's very easy to do that. And I shared that story to show how it can be done. All right. So we had to always be introspective. So let me read that whole paragraph again. 85. Who could possibly be more of a lost soul than those who have spun such kazabats, lies, then make themselves a companion to me, using my Ranan name, my works, even my image, to deceive many into thinking they walk with me as Nuapian, falsely stating that they continue to walk with Nuapians, and also accuse the true devoted Nuapians of being untrue or liars, when it is they who are not true and the liars and the true liars. 86. They are the ones with their famam mouth and their actions victimizing our true Nuapians by putting their verbal sword at their necks by slander when they try to convert them to follow after them. It's all about their own worldly personalities. All right. I got to be the brightest star in the room rather than just us coming together. I got to be your guru. I got to remind you that I'm the one who told you. I got to remember that I'm the one who read you the breath book. Remember when I read you the breath book and you wasn't reading it before? Don't do that. I did read the breath book to some people for the first time. Now they got it. All right. Now they can read the very book I read. All right. So I don't need them to they don't owe me That's another thing I want to say. Just because someone sparked you doesn't mean that you owe them your spiritual loyalty forever. All right. They could spark you to get work done together. All right. You go ahead and keep sparking other people. This this herb helped you. Go ahead and share it to your fellow brothers and sisters. As you breathe in the wisdom, all right, from the overseers, take a deep breath in. You breathe in that wisdom and healing. Hold it. Absorb that life force. And exhale. You're going to exhale that same wisdom and healing for your fellow brothers and sisters. All right. So you're just helping them to tap into what you're tapping into. They don't need to keep tapping into you. All right. In actuality, for your protection, you don't want them to keep tapping into you. You want them to show. And all of us could be plugged in. And now you're not making yourself a conduit for energy vampires. All right, that just come to feed off of you. You showed them that you both can feed on the source. All right. And you charge yourself and you charge each other. All right. And then now you're in a circuit. You created a circuit. All right. But it's not going to happen with somebody trying to be the point. They trying to, they're making themselves the angle, the highest angle. Now you're creating division in the circle. All right. It's a crime. So 86, they are the ones with their famam mouths and their actions victimizing our true Nuwapians by putting their verbal sword to their necks by slander. When they try to convert them to follow after them, it's all about their own worldly personalities. 87, yet, what difference does it make, or whether they manifest themselves as Nuwapians or Habaru Hebrews or Christians, Muksasu Christians or Muslims or any other culture? 88, their Damam blood is Egyptian. Their Natat seed is Mukmatu, Egyptian. Their Jasad flesh is Egyptian. Their Ba'ah soul is Egyptian. Their Ka'ah spirit is Egyptian. 89, they will always be by Tabah, nature, Nuwap Mukmatu, Nuwapian Egyptians, no matter who else, Hadab culture or Za'am religion, they pretend to partake in. All right. So that's where we're going back to our original seed. And what I also I'm hearing Baba, is that he's redeeming us from these various cultures that we've been trapped in. All right. And let people make that journey back home. All right. And sometimes you'll see Mispatia made easy, because Baba said that that the language, there's a lot more to the language, but he's put in a way that we can walk with him. All right. And there's steps. So let people go through their process. You're jumping ahead. All right. And you're coming from your lowliest state. Baba said we're at the lowest state that we will be as Nagaru. This is the lowest state. This is the worst of the worst state on this planet. And we're being called to be back to our highest state. And Baba's taking you from step 1, step 2, step 3. But you're looking at ahead, step 9. All right? When you down here, step 1. Allow Baba to take us through the steps without interfering. All right? As we're being redeemed. All right? Respect people's journey, respect the process, and stop interfering. 90. Surprisingly enough, there is always a place for them amongst the Nuwapians if they decide to return. 91. However, they must be able to catch up. And we are now nearing the end of our own journey on this path. All right. So Baba's saying that if you got lost along the way, it's all right. You can come back. But we're not going to slow down for you. You have to catch back up to where we are now. All right. And that's the beautiful thing about Ashuk natural nature. That's the beautiful thing, that nature allows us to heal. We made mistakes along the way. That's okay. All right. We can get back on track. And it's like, okay, I need to catch up to where we are now. 92. We are now nearing high noon, and Atun Reye is directly above us. 93. If we do not make it across the desert with the supplies and Mayah, water, we have by the time of the evening sun or Amun Reye, we will not complete the journey. All right. So realize that we're making this journey. All right. We're in high noon. We have no time. Your brother or sister fell asleep behind you. All right. You stay on the right path. Walk with Baba. Don't walk with his followers. His followers walk together. All right. Walk with Baba because we're still getting across that desert. All right. And we have to make it across that desert before the day is over. All right. And those of us who didn't make it across in time, those of us who will fade away genetically. So stick with him because those upgrades are happening. And to make it to the next cycle, those upgrades would have had to have happened. All right. So 91, however, they must be able to catch up as we are now nearing the end of a journey on this path. 92. We are now nearing high noon and Atun Reye is directly above us. If we do not make it across the desert with the supplies and Maya water, we have by the time of the evening sun or Amun Reye, we will not complete the journey. 94. So for all of you who have kept up during the journey, keep going. 95. Those of you who have stopped to rest and have somewhat lost your way on the path, yet not in the wrong direction, move quickly to catch up to those ahead of you who are still leading the way. 96. We cannot stop to wait for you or to carry you. So we cannot carry you. Your brother cannot carry you. Your sister can't carry. You can't carry your brother or sister. You can spark them to carry themselves. All right. You're sparking them. All right. You can't have the genetic explosions for someone else. They have to have them themselves. They have to tune in themselves. All right. 97. You too can make it as long as you catch up. 98. For I, Parnabab Yanun, am overwhelmed by Sadak, truth, and the Hakakats, actual facts, not delusions of grandeur or claims to be other than what I was sent to do, for whom I was sent with superior facts. 99. And know that those who stopped along the way were only misled and not cognitive of the fact that they were criminalized and corrupted by wickedness. All right. So he's saying, did they do it on purpose? Not necessarily because he said they were not cognizant. They didn't even know that they were corrupted. They didn't know that they were corrupted by wickedness. All right. So many of us stopped along the way. All right. Because we're working through these genetic, as Bible calls it, these genetic wars. Things happen to us. All right. 100. Master Mukshasu deceivers who led them became backsliders. 101. Only they can announce their own counterfeit religions, all grafted from your ancient Egyptian Qadabat cultures to become monotheism under many names, all from the original birth of all Hamanu humans on this Kawak planet. Hatat Ka Pata to Hatat Ba Pata. All right, Hatat, spirit Pata. Hasmudi, who remembers what Hatat means? Please unmic and share that. Anybody remembers Hatat? Does Hatat mean house? I think Hatat means house. All right. Somebody who knows, they can unmute later. So let's go back. Only they can announce their own counterfeit religions, all grafted from your ancient Egyptian Hadabat cultures to become monotheism under many names, all from the original birthplace of all Hamanu humans on this Kawak planet. Hatat Ka Patatu Hatat Ba Pata. 102. Pa Kakasu, the Caucasoids, who come in among us as Habaru, Hebrews, and Shasasu, Israelites, mixed with Kaanu, Canaanites, and dwelled in our Sadah land as Hebrews for 400 years, and as Israelites for 430 years, because the Lord they worship could not provide for them or protect them while in the land of Canaan. And he promised their father, as he promised. They couldn't, their Lord could not, the Lord that they worship could not provide for or protect them while in the land of Canaan, as he promised their father Abraham or Ibrahim or Abram. 103. Their Lord by many Rananat names, who did not keep his covenant because they did mix their seed with the cursed seed of Mubrasu lepers, Canaanites, and they came to us, and we took them in for 430 years, only to receive from them their curse of Baras leprosy and deceitful treatment after our kindness. All right, so even by their own records, they were struggling, they needed help. We took them in by their own records, and I'm talking about the biblical and the Quranic stories, only for them to turn around and lie on us, all right? And also pass on their cursed seed of leprosy, which is what we're in the process of healing within ourselves, all right? 104. And they took with them our Hika, Kamen, Mashar, black magic, our Nataru, and changed them to be their own, even reverse the very name. Puhi, creative source of will, to become Yahweh, to protect them against us. All right. So Baba's telling you their nature. Why? Why does he talk about the Caucasoid so much? Because this is what has infected us. And when you see what's infected you, you can see when it's playing out. So you get an outside vision to see what's actually happening. So how are we doing that? So the same way that the Canaanites came, we took them in and they changed things to suit themselves. And in doing so, when we took them in, we also took in their genetics. This is where we're getting it from, to have the need to want to change things around to suit ourselves, all right, and make our own thing, all right? And we don't even realize that we're doing the same thing. 105. And it seems as if this Yahweh did protect them, because many among us mixed with the cursed seed of lepers, Kaanu, Canaanites, after they named their own king, Apostates, after Apop of the 15th dynasty. All right. So you even see how Apostates really comes from still us, Apop from the 15th dynasty. So you see how things get degraded through space and time, and change by change, personality by personality. Now you have a whole another animal, so to speak, a whole nother beast. All right. And it all starts from saying, I walk with the Nuapians. It all comes with that. Or I'm a true, but you're really twisting it. There's no different. 106. They did kill one of our own, Sakenen Reye, Ptah of the 17th dynasty, and his seed, Ptah II. 107. Kaamus did fight them, and Amos or Akmos of the 18th dynasty did chase Pahabaru, the Hebrews, after 400 years northeast across the burning sands and back up into the land of Canaan. 108. And after 30 more years, Satak Wahan, that's Seti the first, did chase Pa Shasasu, the Israelites who remained up to 430 years down south and across the Arabian desert, which was part of Egypt. Which was part of Egypt. 109. Is there any more outrageous ignorance than for Nuwap Muhammad, Nuwapian Egyptian to follow after the religions that were born out of his own Khadab culture? That is ignorance and illiteracy. All right, illiteracy. You know, Bible calls us, he explained that if you're not speaking your own language, he calls us illiterate. So if you're only speaking English, that's considered illiterate. All right. Because you'll always have an outside influence of what somebody's saying about you. All right. An outside opinion about your culture. All right. Because the language helps the wiring. So that is ignorance and illiteracy. 111. It's all manufactured, unfounded claims of ghosts, spook, and things they cannot even comprehend. Yet they claim to be faithful to nothingness. 113. Do not pride yourselves with these man-made religions, and furthermore, you should never declare anything concerning yourself except who and what you are. 114. Be honest to your own tabah, nature, true to yourself. 115. You are natural nature, Nuwapu, Nuwapians, Mukmatu, Egyptians. 116. Remember, you must control your tatafats, emotions, and therefore responsible for whatever happens to you. You are where you are supposed to be. Look around you. And that wraps up our scroll. We're gonna end this scroll with a chant. All right. So much has happened to our story, distortions in the genetics, distortions of the mind. Ego, emotions, keeping emotions in check. All right. So it's very fitting to be mindful. We're going to take time to chant. What's this chant in this scroll? Let's just read it first and then we'll chant it. Yaye Nataru Satat Asmuh Lini. Oh Natar, please listen for me. Yaye Nataru Satat Asmuh Lini. Oh Natar, please listen for me. Anuki Karar Kum Asmuh Ni. I am you all's child, hear me. Yaye Nataru Satat Akbulni. Oh Natar, please accept me. Nuk Nadoy Salafuni Li Nasar. I call my ancestors for help. Yaye Nataru Afutni Bi Kalal. Oh Natar, guide me by way of all. Shayayat Manan Munan Pa Mudwawu. Things from the evil ones. Guard me from all the things of the evil ones. All right. So let's just chant that. Yaye Nataru Satat Ashmut Lini. Yaye Nataru Satat Ashmut Lini. Anuki Karar Kum Asmuni. Yaye Nataru Satat Akbulni. Nuk Nadoy Salafuni Li Nasar. Yaye Nataru Afutni Bi Kalal. Shayayat Manan Pa Mudwawu. And just take a moment and just breathe. And feel your physical body making peace with your emotional body. With your mental body. Where's your body? How do you feel? Where are your thoughts? Gather them. Pull it back to the center. How do you feel? What's your emotion? What's your emotional state? Work through it. All right. And now look around you and look again. And that concludes our scroll. So I like to open the floor for anyone to speak about what you're taking from the scroll. How is this affecting you? What does it make you think about? Feel free to mic and share, or a question you may have even.
Make me want to learn my language and read more.
Tower hat, Zamal.
Is there any books that are specific that Baba made that are specifically about like learning the language?
Tua.
Because I'm new to the language. I'm new to the language though.
Yeah, this one is Sabbatic Made Easy, Part 1 and 2. And then
What is it? Could somebody put it in the chat?
yes, feel
And is
free.
there like a series of books, or is it just one
Yeah,
book? Or?
yeah. There's plenty of scrolls throughout the years. Anybody who has any Lahaj books, please put it in the chat in a PDF. Someone will share it, and you can just type it in the chat as well. But it's been shared a few times in there. But you can scroll and look through it, the PDFs, in the group. But if somebody else has it, you could type it. They'll probably put it in there for you.
All right.
All right. Anybody else? And how do you see it playing out in life? Examples, if you want to use examples. Anybody? All right. Yeah. So this scroll, it is a lot to digest because it takes a lot of introspection. And sometimes that quietness is good. All right. So if no one has anything else to say, we can yes, Robert Bazimalta.
Right back. I know I'm still kind of quiet here, and I'm still doing a lot of retrospect on my end. But I've been hearing a lot of these scrolls, and a lot of them are resonating. Like for myself, like I'm kind of tongue tied. New and old, so a lot of things that I was exposed to, and now hearing the hereafter doctrine is kind of has me on a spiritual aspect, so to speak. But it's just a lot of things I'm just trying to sort out. But I do feel like this scroll resonates with me with what's occurring in the family for some reason. I don't know why, but not in a bad way, but I don't know. It's just something that's in my mind.
Yeah, this scroll is definitely something that we all should take time to read. And if we all read it, we do some true introspection, we can see, and it's understandable why it would play out. It's almost natural when you suppress the people for so long. And, so we're going from this state and then you realize how great you are. A lot of the time to have those ego trips from that inferiority complex to that superiority complex. Sometimes that pendulum makes us go from one extreme to the next extreme before we go to the center. All right. And we don't even realize because it's like, I'm so great and I got to let everybody know because I've been told I was so lowly for so long. And to realize that when we're doing it. So I have compassion for why it's playing out. And then also the various genetics of every other natures that has been implanted. And us just realizing that, this is a long walk on a short path. A lot of work to do in such a short time for everything that we went through. So it makes me kind of have a compassion for when I see us acting less than desirable, because when you understand the psychology of a oppressed people, that's getting their liberation. Sometimes that's how it plays out. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, Zamalta, I saw you on mute.
Yes. Hey, Rahul, I was speaking before, and I'm like, well, when I kept speaking, then I heard you kept speaking. I said, well, maybe they can't hear me. Then I had to give the permissions on my phone. So I'm new to the platform. Rahul, Musiaru. I just wanted to add in. I don't know how long I have before I have to be called back to, um, being busy with my babies. However, I just wanted to say that it was a really good reading, and it was these readings are very important and pertinent. Each reading is, because each book that's sent down is, it has a number on it. Each one is numbered, right? So we have to realize they didn't give us all of it, but they send down what is needed from what I'm seeing, what I've witnessed since I've been here, because I was born here in the tribe. That they send down, or what's transmitted, they see what we're dealing with, and they say, okay, they need this Messiah, they need that Messiah, they need this, they need that. So therefore, according to what's given, that's what we really need to be working on, and really need to be doing our best to correct ourselves as much as we can. But at the same time, um, I just wanted to say that this is a really good reading, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad I was able to hear it. And it just makes you, really want to get it together and take it seriously, and know that this is not a game, and that you can be left behind, if you don't take it seriously, because we are at that point of high noon. And Baba clearly said that, anyone, if you fall behind, we can't come back for you. So you definitely have to catch up. And that's just what it is. But besides that, that's what I have to say.
So yes, I get that message too. Her seed, I saw you. You weren't finished. You wanted to say something else? Her seed.
I just wanted to say thank you for putting time aside to read these scrolls. That's because it can be time consuming on your life, and just being here to experience this, and having somebody put time aside to read the master teacher's words is very soul awakening. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. You're very, very needed. Thank you.
I appreciate you, Zamaltat, and I'm very grateful to be honored to play my part in what could be helpful to us. And this is a call to action for whatever we all see that's needed. There's so much work to be done that whatever you inspire to do, more of us have to step up and don't look down on whatever part that you may that you may see. That there's a solution if you see a problem. And I saw the problem that I saw was there's so many games being played with the information, and I'm realizing the misconceptions. Maybe people haven't read that scroll yet, and I'm noticing little uh twisting. That this would be very helpful. Like, I need to get sharp. I need to read these scrolls anyway. So why not create an environment where we read them together, and whatever else somebody sees that need to be done. No matter how big or how small it is, that we all get called to step up in whatever is needed. Um, so yeah, so it's an honor to be a part of the all. It's an honor. That's how I had. All right. Anybody else? So I appreciate everyone. Um, hopefully everybody understands the purpose of this room, the purpose of us reading together, the purpose of us always going back to Paulus and holding each other's hands, uh, and remembering our place in the all. Like, hopefully we all take away, you know, and feel supported in our place here to do our jobs for whatever that is, however it looks. Take time to tune yourself up so you could be sparked to do what's necessary, because there's a purpose for every single tone that's to be called. That's why we started this particular reading by going through the 99 names, where you see that there's an appropriate time and place for each nature to come forward. That's like us and the collective. So I appreciate everybody. I guess we could wrap up. It would be a shorter reading. Unless anybody has any questions or anything else to say, we could wrap up. All right, so Tawa Hat Moisar, Nakuk Saror Anskum. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you next time. Our next reading could be on Saturday, because I realize I have time on Saturday. So we'll read another scroll, and based on the conversations and everything is recorded, that we did today. So I appreciate everyone, and I shook Wadu Moisar.
Water.
I shook.
I shook.